Peace, butterflies. Thank you for being here in this moment. You are currently listening to the Butterfly Experience podcast with myself, Imani Aliyah, as your host. I'm honored to be trusted with your time, space, and energy on this platform, and I'm sending you all love as we join together for this episode. Before we begin, I would like to give a disclaimer that the things I express in this episode are my own opinions and experiences, and if you need help working through your mind, body, or spiritual disease, I encourage you to reach out to a professional. Thank you. Now on to the episode. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Imani, and I am super excited today. I know I'm skipping past parts, but I'm just super excited for our guest because this is a conversation I have been waiting for, I have been living for, and I know that it is a blessing to have him here with all of his amazing offerings and products. But before we even get into that, I'm Imani, singer, songwriter, hip-hop and R&B and soul performing artist, recording artist, and this is the Butterfly Experience podcast. You know what's crazy? I was looking at the bio for our Instagram, and I need to start using it as an intro. I don't remember what it said, but next time I got y'all. Regardless, we're all about healing, creativity, transmutation, transformation, and flying high on the Butterfly Experience podcast. And this is a very special time to be a part of it because we got the visual aspect. You can see me now. I can't see you, but I'm gonna pretend I can see you, and it's very personal. So please sit back and enjoy this amazing conversation we have in store. I have Tuck here, okay? And let me tell y'all something. Tuck is about to bless us, okay? Y'all gonna feel the blessings through the screen. He's into so many things, but one of the things I do know Tuck from is being one of the founders of Conscious Nights, straight out of Jersey, period. Jersey, whoop whoop. Him and John, who hopefully you know we'll have on here one day. He's also into all nourishing things that you can intake. So we got some herbs here, we got some juices, some things we're gonna try. It's gonna be very beautiful, and you'll get all the information about it as well. We got the perfect person to ask. So if that's something that you fucking with and that you into, then let's stay tuned. Give it up at home a warm welcome for Tuck. Hey, gang. Peace. I'm so excited to have you. This is going to be a great conversation. As I was telling you before camera started rolling, like, I have been on a journey of elevating my nourishment and really opening myself to better options and figuring out what works for me. Where do I come from? What works for the people that I come from type time? What are the cycles that may be in place, or the harmful addictions or things like that may be in place, and what can I do to educate myself and to do better? So this truly feels like, I really feel like Source was like, you are on a journey that I approve of and that's in alignment for you, and now I'm going to bless you with the people to educate you about it and to support you in it. So I really feel like you are absolutely a part of that alignment and a part of that blessing. So I have the utmost gratitude and appreciation and just like excitement for today. Please feel free to introduce yourself however you feel fit to the listeners, the viewers, the butterflies.
Peace, what's going on, people? Family, tribe, what's up? My name is Tuck, or JT, whatever you prefer to call me. I am the owner of Unapologetically Alkaline, where I sell different flavored sea mosses. I just run through the flavors real quick. Strawberry mango, strawberry blueberry, sweet apple, mango, and apple and pear. And those flavors are subject to change due to different seasons. Also, I am the co-owner and founder of Conscious Nights and co-founder of Conscious Nights. Me and my brother Illadel, we have been doing that for about a year now. And the sea moss I have been doing for about maybe a year and a half now, a year and 6 months. And I've been Alkaline for, I want to say maybe a little over 2 years, maybe a little under 2 years. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. That's the basis.
Wow, I love that. I can just feel, I can feel the nourishment. It's gonna be so great. So what, you said you've been Alkaline for like a little over 2 years now?
A little over, a little under. It's been since December.
My birthday month.
December 2020, I believe. Is that the year that the pandemic popped off?
2020 is the year.
Okay, so it's December 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are some of the benefits you feel like you can say to this day that you've experienced since you've started that journey? I know it's probably long.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But if I could say that number one is probably clarity. Clarity for sure.
Mind, body, and spirit?
Yeah, indeed.
So can you walk us through some of the body ones?
So as far as clarity with the body, I had no idea before what was good for me. I thought just what was good for me was working out. Prior to me even becoming Alkaline, One of the things I used to say, like we had Thanksgivings or different functions where people are eating and trying to, incorporate other foods that was good for us. And my thing was, I would say like ignorant things like, yo, I don't eat nothing that's good for me. That would actually be something that I said, oh, you don't want no greens on your plate? Nah, I don't eat nothing that's good for me. Give me some pork chops, give me some extra chicken, give me some ribs, give me all of that. And I'm in the gym faithfully, always have been, still am. And yeah, so I would do that, but ever since I dropped that, I have noticed that I have shedded off a lot of other extra emotions that I was holding on. Not just from people, but also from the food that we eat.
Yes.
Because as I continue to like learn this and pay attention, like our ancestors used to eat meat for specific reasons.
Yep.
And some of those reasons were because of I can't think right now, but
wintertime is the one that I always learn about.
Wintertime, but also because there was like I can't think right now. There was just a scarce variety of food then. So then sometimes they didn't have anything to eat. Maybe the herbs were dying off, so they had to eat whatever they could. So they would eat some meat. But even then, there was proper ways to how they killed the meat. Yep. So that the animals weren't giving off like stress hormones.
Yes.
So they would catch them in a peaceful state instead of like, oh, I'm just gonna run up on it and murder it and stab it and then chop it up and put it over top of the fire. Now it was other ways they did it. Like maybe they would approach it and calm it down and pet it if they could, if it was that type of animal that they could approach. Pet it, calm it down, and then, cut its head off in the middle of it not knowing anything.
Right.
And that will at least have the hormones be at peace instead of it just stressing, because it calmed the animal down into a relaxation state beforehand. You feel me? So things like that played a part. But even still, regardless, meat is meat, and the things that you get from eating meat, the toxins of it clogging your arteries and all of that, still play a part whether you killed it in a peaceful manner or not. But there is different ways to get a better version of meat than, you feel me?
Absolutely. And I even read somewhere that they would cook it with specific herbs that would, you know how you can eat sage, but you can also use it to smudge, right?
Indeed.
So they were like, I read somewhere that our ancestors would cook it with herbs that saged it in a way, or like cleansed it.
Yes.
Body and spirit when they was cooking it, because they knew like, all right, this is some, not the best situation type time. But no, that's all very interesting. I even read somewhere too that like, and I meant to bring, that's the book I should have brought too. But
I'm glad that you went there real quick about what they saged it with, but also what they seasoned it with. So a lot of people to this day don't understand that meat only tastes good because of what we season it with.
Okay.
And that's just common sense.
Okay.
You're not going to chop off a piece of meat, or you're not just going to cook some chicken and eat it with no seasoning.
Right.
Unless you that color. Right. European. You feel me?
Right.
Like,
right.
nah. But yeah, you're not really going to eat it like that. It doesn't taste good like that. Nothing like that tastes good. So with that being said, a lot of the seasonings that the ancestors originally started putting on the meat were to help the meat digest 10 times better, so that it could flow through your system and then also leave your system properly. Because like I said, when you eat meat, it's going to clog your arteries. Yep. But if you season it with things like basil,
basil, that's what I was thinking of.
These seasonings on top of my head, but basil, clove, not parsley, but what's some other ones? I don't know why I can't think. You could use rosemary. It's not all the way alkaline, but you could use rosemary. What's the simple Jones? What we missing? Rosemary. Onion powder.
Oh,
what else?
Okay. I didn't know that counted.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Onion powder. It's like a bunch of simple. Oregano. That's the simple ones I'm trying to think of.
Okay.
It's a bunch of other different Jones.
And so that's helping it digest as better as well as. Well, they probably didn't care that much about the taste as much as they cared about it being healthy for their body.
Indeed.
Type time.
So, but yeah.
That's interesting.
Yep. So they would do those things, and it would help break down the meat, because things like basil and oregano, like even oil of oregano, that helps with like getting rid of colds greatly. So that help with your immune system, help with your digestive tract, and all of that. Wow. So if you do that with the seasonings, it'll help break down the meat even better.
Okay. And this is like, side note, is this like when you use it to cook, or when you just like spoonful of that bitch, like?
All of that. So regular seasonings like the ones we just talked about, basil and oregano, onion powder, all of these things. People don't look at it like that, but those are herbs as well, just as very much so as Damiana mugwort, the herbs I got on the table. You can put those in boiling water and drink that regular, and it'll help with the elements in your body. But instead, we just look at them like, oh, let me throw this on the meat, on whatever you cooking. Let me throw these seasonings on there. No, they're more than they're seasonings for your immune system as well.
I'm excited. I can't wait to cook. This shit making me really want to cook. Like, because it's the thing that I always heard was like, oh, vegan food nasty and those, but I never experienced that. Like, I've had some very good vegan food and also raw vegan food that's good. Like, something I learned, because I wasn't always the best cook, because I had a very fast childhood, even like young adulthood, because I was always performing. Like, my first thing was always my career, so I never really like invested in my body type shit. But so I never really had learned to cook till later in life. But once I did, you know, thankful to the people that taught me a couple things, marinating shit. People sleep on letting something sit for like a few hours or something like that. Yo, that shit right there alone gets shit flavored very well. So even with like food, it's this person that I follow. I think her name on Instagram is like Let's Talk Food, and she's she doesn't cook anything necessarily. But like, she's a great cook, but right now she's been on a journey of like, I'm literally eating everything raw. So she does a lot of marinades and she creates a lot of like of her own seasoning. She be like, that shit be good as fuck. Like, just eating shit raw, like just straight like that. Right. Like, wow, that shit is wild. But another thing I had wanted to share with you that I had read in a book was, it was breaking down how the human body is made. It was because it was trying to prove the point of like, we're literally created to eat fruit. So it was talking about even how our jaw, it doesn't like, our teeth in our jaw, right? I don't remember if it's like up and down or side to side, but however our jaw is built, how it's supposed to be, it only is how the dinosaurs that ate fruit do it, or like trees and shit like that. The ones that ate meat, they had all sharp teeth, like them canine teeth we got, they had that around the whole border, and I think theirs could swing all the way around so that they could chew all of the meat. Am I making sense?
Yeah,
like,
I'm understanding that.
So, and also our intestines, like whatever that thing is that loops around and is long as shit, it was saying that ours is the size to digest fruit and plants. It's not the longest size. I think it's supposed to be longer to digest meat or something like that. It's not as long as it's supposed to be to digest meat. And they compare us to like animals and dinosaurs and shit like that, and how their insides are made up. So it's scientifically proven in like, what is it, our biological? I don't fucking know, but like how we supposed to be eating. So I don't know, that shit is really wild to me. But
hey y'all, so this is Imani from the future coming back in to edit. I had some of the information a little bit mixed up, but I was still on the right track. So here is the section from the book Healing Foods that I was talking to y'all about by Michael Murray, ND. I don't know what the hell that means, child, some type of degree. But yeah, so here is the passage if you desire to take a second and read it. But yeah, and that's the picture, the front of the book that I have, and this is where I was getting that information from. So yeah, hopefully that all makes sense. I just had it a little bit mixed up.
The science is out there, y'all, is what I'm basically getting at, and the proof is out there. Now, I was kind of like waiting a little bit, because I'm like, maybe I should wait, ask a couple more questions until we try some of the stuff. But I want to try some of the juices, and maybe you could talk to us a little bit about what they are. Because I'm looking like, let me get mine.
I just thought of the word. So famine was the word I was trying to use earlier. Famine. That's why our ancestors wanted to start eating like meat and things like that, because of the famines that came across the land.
They're redoing that. They're doing that in our society. They know that. They're using that shit. Food deserts. They are doing that shit. That's crazy. So, they really be taking the oldest tricks out the book. Y'all know who they are. They be taking the oldest tricks out the book. I'm listening. Go ahead.
It's very, very important right now that it's a lot of different seasons out there. So I keep forgetting I got these books sometimes, so I'm going to utilize them while we speaking. So for whatever reason, I can only think of 2 seasons at that moment. But we got like oregano. So this little book right here, some of my favorite people I like to follow on Instagram is a dude named Eat to Live, Not to Die. This is his book, and then I got Alkaline Vegan Mommy, which was like, she like my sister. Me and her actually did like a live a little while ago before they banned my old Instagram for telling too much truth. You know how that go. So yeah, like I mentioned oregano earlier. So one of the benefits of oregano is kills intestinal parasites. It's good for cancer, arthritis, asthma, bronchitis, flu, heart, indigestion, AIDS, and sleep. And then I said basil, stress, vision, cold, heart, lung, anti-cancer, teeth, kidney, indigestion, acne, helps quit smoking. So that's just 2 of the ones that I said earlier. I could keep going with cloves, dill, bay leaf, tarragon, thyme. These things, African bird pepper, onion powder, African bird pepper, or like cayenne pepper. If you do it enough times, flicking it in your eyes, if you got eye problems, it'll help wash the mucus out and help bring vision back.
What? I didn't know about the eyes, because I'm blind as hell.
You see, I got
so
my
anything
glasses.
that builds my vision, I'm down for that. One thing that scares me, and I wonder if you like have experience or like advice in this area. So like where I'm at in my life now, I'm healing myself because I want to heal myself, but I'm also very much so trying to heal my family. And this is something I used to run away from for a long time because, you know, it's a lot of trauma when it comes to family. It's a lot of just like whole lot, and that shit run deep because y'all share the same blood, y'all grew up together, you know, shit like that really makes it harder. So I ran away from my family for a long time. I was always the sister that was out doing shit. Anyway, now in my life, I'm setting the intention of healing myself and then wanting to, even though it's, you know, it's difficult and challenging, like wanting to heal my family. Like I want to get rid of my grandmother's arthritis and her heart problems and her clogged arteries. Like, and I've heard stories about people doing this shit, about black people, indigenous people doing this shit, using herbs, using like a specific type of nourishment for the elderly in their family. I want to help my mom with her gut problems. I want to change my siblings' diet. These are things these are things I'm going to do and that I'm actively doing. But one thing that scares me, right, is like I also know that sometimes when you make a drastic change, especially for elderly, it can like the transition phase can like just, I don't know, be a little too harsh for them. So what are some of the first steps that you would say to take before you're just like, we're gonna take all of this out your diet and we're only gonna apply this? Because I would love to do that, but I don't want the detox process to be too harmful to her, like, or too stressful on her body. Or is that even, should I even be worried about that? Should I just, you know, like, what is some advice you would give?
You should. So first and foremost, I'm gonna give advice to you because it's advice that I had to learn over a course of time. But you gotta be the change that you want to see. That's something that Illadell John, he say that shit all the time. And that's just something that just popped into my head that we was talking. And that's something I'm just giving that advice to you.
Receive.
And my elder, he's about 77. He met a lot of important people in his life, including Sebi as well. So he done taught me some things, still teaches me a lot of things. And he mentioned, and this was probably like the roughest advice he ever gave me. Sometimes you just gotta leave your family right where they are. That's like, yeah, it's heartbreaking, but it's tough. But he told me that.
Peace and blessings. Another snippet from Imani from the future. On the podcast, it is important to us that every friend and guest and healer and artist feels that they are represented in a way that truly reflects who they are. And so when Tuck made the statement about sometimes you have to just leave your family where they are, he contacted me later, felt it was a little bit harsh, and decided to elaborate on it a bit more as well as provide another side of it. So I'm going to read that message, and then I have another thing I want to say. So he reached out and said, peace, just wanted to let you know that when I made that harsh statement of saying sometimes you have to just leave your family where they are, it's the truth, but always try to find a little creative ways to get them interested and don't give up. We are going to heal a lot of people through words, actions, and natural medicine, but just remember these people have to want to be saved themselves and willing to put in the work versus you putting in all the work for them. So, and then he said, peace, love, and light, keep your head up high as heavens always. So I desire to share that to provide just a reflection of him that was in more of a totality because he did message me after that. And I also desire to say that you will see in a few seconds or a few moments that he does go on to share a personal story from his family as well as different things he tried in order to get his family on a path of healing and nourishment that is more divine and more alkaline. So shout out to you, Tuck, for just being well-rounded and, you know, caring about how you're represented in the message that you're putting out. And also it definitely showed that, you know, you cared and you care and you've tried different things over time. So just to put that out there, because again, here on the platform, we care about y'all being reflected in a way that makes you feel it was whole. All right, back to the interview.
So with that being said, she still would go get her treatments from time to time, and I just so happened to move back out of my house. Situation happened with the landlord. I've been in my house for like 5 years, and I came back to stay with them for a little bit before I moved on again. And while I was there, I tried to be as much as a blessing as I could, but it came off like harsh at first because a lot of the trash that they was bringing in the house, I'm like, yo, why y'all eating this? Why y'all eating that? And I'm just like sometimes snapping here and there. And I was realizing like that's not helpful as many good intentions as I have with saying what I say to them. And like just talking about the trash that they bringing in the house, they wasn't receiving it because of maybe my tone or the anger that I had or the passion was being mistaken for like, you know, just the wrong temper. Yeah, being real judgmental, you feel me? So I had to watch that. And as I became calm and I started to, if you was on the outside looking in, it may have seemed like, all right, I don't care no more. And I just fell back from telling them what was what. I really was just like, as my brother would say, I got to be the change I want to see. So instead of me more so pushing it on them, I was more disciplined in front of them. Because it was times, because of all the trash that they was bringing in the house, I would sneak some of it. Because sometimes I don't got nothing to eat. And instead of me like thinking in my head like, yo, this is just the perfect time to fast, sometimes I would play myself. Whenever you hungry, it's the perfect time to fast instead of trying to just go get something to eat. Because we don't really know what hungry is. We don't really know what that is. We have no
saying so much. I'm just over here receiving like.
We have no idea what that is. That's 9 times out of 10. That's like a temptation state where you just like, not to keep going left, but a lot of the sugars that we eat cause us to want to eat more.
Yes, I was just telling
That's
my
what
grandma
happens
this.
with those
like
sugars.
we literally got shit inside of like beings that be literally want. We be thinking we be craving that shit and it be them because we fed them over time and they're literally alive.
Parasites love sugar. So the more sugar we eat, the more these parasites eat on it, and it just sends that effect to our mind that, okay, you're hungry. We're not really hungry. We need to fast and get them parasites out of us. Because every time we eat something that's not good for us, they keep feeding on that, which causing us to be more hungry, which means we just gonna keep eating and keep eating while they eating. We just gonna keep eating more bullshit. They gonna keep eating more bullshit. That's what they want.
Talk about it.
So we keep doing that. That's what's gonna keep happening. So back to the whole family situation. I just like, all right, I'm just gonna try to give them more options. I'm not really no cook. It's sad because I took culinary for 4 years in high school, and you know where you can find me, I was in the kitchen. I was in the refrigerator and the freezer, all the food they was making, I was in there eating that shit. That's where they found me at. They knew better than to send me to the fridge because I wasn't coming back for a good 45 minutes. I'm in there eating. So, yeah. So I just started to cook a little bit more at the house for the family. They would tear it up. I probably only get like a plate and they fuck it up. They come back, everything be gone. I'm like, damn, y'all know I made it for y'all. Ain't gonna say nothing for me. And I'll be mad, but at the same time, I'll be smiling because I'm like, okay, it wasn't like this before. Yeah. They eating good now and they loved it, they enjoyed it, cool. So I would do that. Start making like an abundant amount of smoothies and teas. And I would try to make them taste good according to what they like to hear. I could eat any and every fruit every week, all week, so it don't matter to me. I'm just looking for like quality benefits just in general.
Same.
So,
but they be like wanting to like, you know, it's just people who put sugar in their smoothies or like, excuse me, like sugar in their tea type shit. So you be trying to like sweeten it up because you know that it'll make them want it more. And then they'll also have it in their head like, oh, I can make it taste this good without artificially flavoring that bitch. Okay,
right.
Yeah, baby, dates.
Indeed, you know, agave.
Exactly.
You know? So I would do them things for the family. And it made things a lot easier. The teas, my mom would just be, so what gets kind of like annoying about that process is when you start to do a lot for people, they always want you to do for them. Okay. And now it gets to, now you got to find some type of balance because I'm so used to taking care of myself and my refrigerator, and when I had my house, it would be 4 or 5 different gallons of smoothies in there, 4 or 5 different gallons of teas in there. And I'm going through that like in a week. Knowing me, I might go through that in like a couple of days. And then I got my food in there. Now I'm making it for other people and I get home. And now I'm back to that point where I'm like, all right, I really have to bring some type of balance to this hunger feeling that I'm feeling. Because now I'm getting home and I'm happy about one thing, but I'm mad about the other. Because I'm happy y'all eating better, but I'm mad that, damn, y'all not saving me nothing. Y'all just, you feel me? So the whole point of me even gracing this earth, and I feel like my purpose is just to be a messenger. Sebi used to say that a lot, and I feel like as like one of his like God children, I feel like I took on that purpose as well. Like, just being a messenger. I'm not here to really do much for people. I'm just here to really spread the word. Like, look, y'all can do this for yourself. Y'all can do that for yourself. We not here to do it for you. Because nobody's handicapped. Whatever you was born with, whatever you was put on this earth with, whether you got one leg, one arm, whatever, you was put here for a reason, and just to have that. Now, if you want to make the best out of that situation and capitalize on it, that's up to you. You feel me? So don't feel bad because somebody else got 2 feet and 2 arms. Make something special out of what you got. You feel me? So that's how I look at things.
Wow.
I don't even know if I all the way answered your question, if I went completely left.
No, absolutely. You answered my question and also sparked not even questions, like you affirmed me of a lot of things and also did spark a couple of questions. But Yeah, no, that is exactly what I was required to hear, and I feel like Source really, you are a messenger. Source, you know, moves people to speak to people. Like I said in the beginning, this was truly a divine conversation, because this is exactly like, I just know God talking, and I'm here to receive that. I feel like where I'm at with my family now, it's like anytime I've moved back with my mom, I've rushed to get out, because I just feel like, and I love my family, I swear, but it's like every time I try to be around or like invest too much, that shit
wears on you.
It wears on me and it pulls me down. Like, even if it's not pulls me into the same cycles, it's still just like, it makes it harder. And it's like, you know, it is a extreme challenge to be in poverty, to be, you know, a single parent, to have multiple children, to be working a job. It's so many, on top of generational cycles, on top of like systems and all types of institutions and all type of shit that people go through. And it's just like, you know, you trying to be a warrior and fight the shit that you've lived in this lifetime, as well as, you know, other lifetimes, and like who your soul contract and put in your life now as family. It just piles on and piles on and piles on. So like, anyway, you know, any other time I've lived with my family, I've like rushed to get out, right? But this time I said, you know what, I didn't feel the need to run like so quickly. So I'm in a space now where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, be cooking certain things and like be doing certain things, and yes, being the example, because I used to like, not even I used to snap or nothing like that, but I used to just, yeah, I never did that. But I think me being like, I don't want it, made people feel like I was ungrateful or I thought I was better type shit. Now, you know, I done left for a couple years and I came back, and people are a little bit more out of that mindset. Like, they appreciate that about me. Like, for example, I was telling TJ this is a side note, right? Like, I got into like channel messages and tarot and things like that, right? Dream, what is it, symbolism and shit like that. So now my grandma, she'll be like, I dreamed of a grasshopper. What that mean? And she just called me there. My mom called me, I dreamed that it was 2 pennies on the porch, and I walked through the door, I came back out, they was gone. What that mean? Like, yeah, sometimes. But that's who I am now, and I'm saying that to say
this herb right here.
Wait, was it mugwort? Yeah, this help with dreams.
Yeah, everything I got on the table damn near help with dreams. Outside of like Damiana, but I smoke mugwort and calendula, or calendula, however people want to say it. I smoke those. Calendula helps with clarity and remembrance of dreams. Mugworts help with remembrance of dreams and lucid dreaming.
Yeah, that's what it was, lucid dreaming.
So it's like when I smoke these, I really become like a prophet of my life.
Yes.
I'll go to sleep and dream of something. I wake up in the morning and it either be something from my past or people that I have dealt with or am dealing with, or to be a picture, a very clear picture of where I'm going or what steps to take.
Shit.
So it helps.
You just answered something for me. We're going to talk about that off camera though.
Okay.
But,
yeah, those joints help greatly with that though.
All right, word. Yeah, mugwort, when I first started getting into like smoking for a different reason and into different shit, mugwort was one of the first herbs that I had. Somebody gave it to me in like a mason jar, a cute little joint, and I would roll that shit up and smoke it and be like, yo, I just feel like I wouldn't feel so like, you know how people say fried? Like, I wouldn't feel fried. I would feel like
real calm.
I know some shit. Like something about my being just knows some shit. I would just know shit. But anyway, as far as my family, this time it's like I'm trying to heal them or whatever, right? And I'm trying to also live my way. But it's just so many challenges and I be getting so frustrated. And so I'm like, now it's like I'm gonna use my money to get a car. And I think I'm gonna rock out with them for a little while. But I feel like when it's time for me to leave and let them, you know, because the one blessing I can say is that my mom is so much more receptive than she was when she just had me and I was her first kid. Like, you know, she's 5 kids in now, so she's way more patient, way more like willing to try new shit. And I'm really proud of her. She's done a lot of beautiful, amazing things in her journey. So I trust that when I leave this time, she really gonna be on that shit, right? But saying all that to say, I feel like God is gonna, I feel like it's not yet that I'm supposed to leave. Like I still got some work to do. You know how you was saying you was making stuff and all of that. I'm starting to do those things. And I feel like when God tells me this time that it's time to leave, it's going to be a serious, like, I'm going to have done some serious work in my family. Because I know that just the way I am inspires my family. They tell me that shit all the time. Right. So it's like, now that I'm here and I'm helping y'all, I have a lot of confidence and I feel very blessed to say that the seeds I'm planting, y'all going to grow them bitches. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that I'm going to heal my grandma and that I'm going to give her stuff and then she's going to be able to do it herself because she's going to be able to walk around now. She's going to be able to go up and down the steps type shit. Like, it's not going to be so much weight on her to weigh on her knees type shit. So it's just like, yeah. I
call it the vocal drink part too.
Okay. I'm going to keep that in mind. I think like an oil too for like your throat chakra. Like, I could probably make oils based on different chakras. Cause I would love that. I'm gonna let it, like, you know, I'm probably gonna do a lot of things in my life. Like, I never thought I would have a fucking podcast. Here we are. You know, I never thought I'd be making jewelry. Did that and doing that, still do that. I did hair for a little while. I did like you know, fucking braids and shit. Like I done did everything. But anyway, let's talk about conscious nights. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about
why the young, you know what's crazy? The young woman who I had right before you, who also has locks, also wore all black, and also has a brand called Conscious City.
I wanted to meet with her because I seen it. I was actually like checking out her Instagram page
Nadira?
the other day. Nadira, and I think I seen her at Cali's event.
Yes.
Did she come to Cali event?
Not the one I was at, but I think she came to the one previous to that.
Yeah, I think the first one that I went to that Cali had, I believe she was there, and that's when I heard her on the stage speak about, does she rap and sing?
She raps.
Okay, word, I remember. And she mentioned that, she said, yeah, something about Conscious City, so I followed that joint. That joint looked dope.
Yeah.
Salute to her for doing what she doing. Salute.
Yeah.
Salute, queen. Word.
Period. So yeah, y'all have similar like reflections. We love that, reflections of each other. And she wore black that day too. And she's her son. I'm his godmom. She calls it guide, but it sounds like godmom, but guide mom.
She's her son, what you mean?
I'm her, like, her son, I'm his godmom.
Oh, okay, cool. Gotcha. Gotcha.
So yeah, why Conscious Nights? Share, you know, I know it's two of y'all that started it, but like, you know, tell us the story from your side, from your perspective.
Okay, so Conscious Nights, damn, I'm about to give out, like, we ain't even had this exclusive interview with nobody, me and John or nothing yet, so.
Really?
You might catch some information that we ain't even disclosed yet. But I'm gonna give it out, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, let's talk. So the name Conscious Nights actually came from my brother, Norman, which is actually, that's John's, Illadel's, that's his blood cousin. They cousins. So I met both of them. I always say both of them are my brothers, but I met both of them like over like 2 years ago. It's been no longer than 2 years, I think. I knew Norman actually I knew him for years. Knew of him, chopped it up with him a couple times because he's married to my best friend from high school. You feel me? So that's where that
village.
Yeah, that's where that connection came about. And he's the one who introduced me to Alkaline. So he the one, like, you know, just inspired me. You feel me? So salute to him, salute to bro. Yeah, so we was all building. Actually, it was a time at his wedding. Actually, there was a bunch of us, all the groomsmen that was in his wedding. We was all, is it called groomsmen or?
I think, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Grooms.
All the men that's on his side in the wedding. We was all like in the car talking before we was getting ready to go into the diner to get some breakfast before the wedding. So we were all chopping it up, and everybody was just like speaking hella affirmations to each other. Like it was all love. Like, yo, we gonna do this, we gonna do that, brother this, brother that. We gonna, all of us gonna be helping each other do this, do that, build businesses, this and that. And a year later, that shit kind of like full circle. Wow. With me and Del, it started off me and Norman. Doing the CMOS, me and June doing the CMOS, and then eventually he broke off and started doing his art thing. He makes art, sells art, and he's also like a manager of artists, like painters. So he does that. He got an art show coming up September 2nd. Go check that out. June Fabiano, follow him and his the person that he manages, and you know, also like a brother and family, Sean D. Hamilton. Both of these dudes are great painters, great artists. Yeah.
Hamilton boy, I heard of him.
Yeah, he dope. He dope. He got a lot of great chakra paintings, like spiritual paintings, and Jones is dope off the hook. And then June himself is just like a great conscious rapper, MC rather. So yeah, going forward, we did that. Me and John ended up coming in a full circle. We met again. We was chilling one day. I think we was going to like this vegan restaurant or something like that, and we was just talking about different open mics. And Illadel was just going off like, yo, I got this vision, this and that. He talking about his vision, I'm talking about my vision. He talking about, yo, you know, his experience, because he been doing it for like, I guess like 8 to 10 years prior to me. And I had people prior to him that I met, specifically one individual, a homie, that I was talking about doing an open mic out our way in Jersey. So me and the homie who originally had started talking about it, we didn't get around to actually doing it, but he ended up playing the bass for us. So me and Del was just bouncing our deals off each other. And I'm like, yo, bro, you don't understand like this part of Jersey, because the part of Jersey that I am, that I'm in or was living in, Dell doesn't know anything about that part of Jersey. He might have been to the city that I'm from, which is Trenton. Like he did, I guess he said he did a couple shows over there over his lifetime, like once or twice, however many he did. So the part that I live in, they call that shit Little Motown. And it's a lot of artists that came out of there, whether it's athletes, artists, musicians that came out of that area, doctors, so on and so forth that came out of that area that don't always claim that city when they leave. And they made it from there, or not. I won't even say they don't claim, they just don't speak of it much, or it doesn't get as much recognition because it's like one of them little towns that produces so much, but it doesn't have a name. You feel me? So with that being said, I was telling him about that. I wasn't calling it Little Motown at that time to him, but I was letting him know that, yo, it's so much, like, it's so much creativity in this city. So,
I know I hear so.
I was trying to ignore it, but that shit kept messing me up. But as I was letting him know that, I was like, bro, we could do it here, we could do it here, we could do it here. So eventually, we did it. We made it happen. He brought some artists together. I went and grabbed the venue that I knew we could do it at, and it kind of all just flowed together and happened naturally because there was no force whatsoever. I said we could do it. I had to kind of like make bro a believer of that area because he already had so much experience in doing it. It's like he had to kind of like see where it could be done at, and without him knowing anything about that area, it wasn't much for him to go off of, but my word. You feel me?
Wow.
So a lot of people in that area know me. A lot of people know me, just in general. So I was able to like send it to certain people that I know will kind of like either show me love as far as like sharing it and create like a little bit more of a better buzz. And then on top of that, at that specific time, I already had a lot of people like following me and asking me questions as far as like health goes. So when they seen the Conscious Nights and they like, oh shit, this shit kind of like, go together, then they ain't really had no issue with supporting it. And then Iladel being a conscious MC, a conscious MC, and then a great host on top of that, was like, we got the pieces that we need right here. It ain't much more we got to reach for from nobody. You feel me? So, yeah. So that kind of like happened like that. And we did some of our first shows at a spot called La Luz in Beverly. And we started doing them Johns there. We did about like 5 shows there. And then we just moved on. Like every venue doesn't work out for the best for long-term situations. You feel me? So sometimes all good things come to an end sometimes, depending on where you at, and sometimes it's just time to elevate. So we started off there. We got what we needed. They got what they needed. We elevated. You feel me? So that's just like a little brief rundown. I had to give you like a chopped up kind of brief, John.
Listen, but I got the story. I love that.
Yeah.
I love when things work out for the highest good when you don't apply force. It's just like, it's literally manifested. It's like, this comes, I got this gift, I have this God-given gift, you know what I'm saying? And then the magic literally just creates itself. I love that. I knew it was something, I knew that y'all did it with Conscious Nights, and then, I'm thinking Conscious City. I'm about to start doing that. And I love how many things I keep crossing in this conversation too, because you and TJ and calling one TJ, one Tuck, and y'all both Geminis, the locks and everything. Anyway, y'all, my dear, it's so Conscious Nights. Y'all did it with Conscious Nights, and what was the other organization?
The other venue?
When I had the other group that Sherry and her friends and all of that. When I had first did it.
With us? Oh, you talking about the one that John was hosting? Well, he hosts both of them Johns, but it was kind of like outside?
It was 2 venue spaces.
You're not talking about Franny Lou's? All right, so you're talking about Miss Silly's then?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm not talking about a venue space. I'm talking about like a group of people.
Oh shit! You talking about the MVP joint?
Yeah,
with Dynasty.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew. So that was the first show. It was them and it was y'all, and it was at, I believe, yes, Miss. It was 2 separate venue spaces. I'm saying all that to say to kind of like paint the picture for them.
Yeah.
I knew it was something big to be a part of when I did that first show, because it was y'all all. It was giving family vibes, which is I love being a part of things that give family vibes and give like, this is a village, because number one, it speaks to like people, it speaks to the masculine and feminine energy being balanced enough to create something amongst multiple people that is big and that, you know, runs on itself, whatever the case may be. But then the other thing about it was like, everybody, it seemed like everybody not only had a good understanding of like being an artist and like being a creator and like a magician, you know, musician, all of those things, but also like the business side of it. And it was everybody had like a taste of those talents. Tell me, does that feel like the balance between, for that show, was that like a thing? Am I being clear on the question too?
Yeah, I think I'm understanding what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, amongst all three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was basically like the core of that show.
That's what it, okay, that's even more of the idea I'm trying to paint. Like it felt like I was close to something that was, that had been doing something for a while and building on something, and that accumulated a lot of like power and love and just magic over time.
That was the first time, John, for any of us working all together like that. Like me and John, even still to this day, we still like figuring out how to work better with each other. You feel me? How to get more comfortable with each other, still how to trust each other, still how to like continuously learn each other. Like that's a process that'll never end. You feel me? And I embrace shit like that. I love shit like that because I'm always ready to learn something and let's take it to the next level, or let's just elevate, let's go to the next dimension. You feel me? So with that being said, even when it came to conscious nights, let me get that shit. Good look. Even with conscious nights, like John knows way more artists than I know. But when it comes to me doing homework, soon as I get an Instagram and you tell me like, yo, I could go search for this and that person, as soon as I realize like I start following different musicians or artists, then all those type of people start to like flock to my page. It became a lot easier for me to find artists. So I was just doing my homework left and right on who this artist is, who that is, and I was like writing down, I got like a list of artists at the crib, or matter of fact in my bag of people that we want to be features at our John. You feel me? So, and him, just John in general, he know a plethora of just great artists.
Yep.
So we were just combining that, and then on top of that, I'm a musician. I grew up a drummer. And you feel me? And that's still my talent.
Was you drumming at any of the shows?
Nah, I never drummed any of the shows.
So I don't feel bad for not knowing.
Yeah. It's gonna happen.
Know this.
It's gonna happen eventually.
Wow,
Yeah. I was kind of like just forced to do that, like all of my childhood. Even though it was a talent, I was kind of like forced to do it. So now at this age, it's like if I'm going to do it, I'm gonna do it because I want to do it.
That's
can't
me
nobody,
with music too.
Yeah, can't nobody really ask me. Can't nobody be like, yo, we need you to. Nah, if I want to do it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna enjoy this. You feel me?
I totally understand that. That's
So,
me with singing and shit too.
Yeah. So I just I got an ear for like great musicians, singers. Damn near my whole family, damn near almost all the women on both sides of my family, mainly my mother's side of the family, can sing.
Period.
All of them.
All right, so I don't take it lightly when you say I can sing.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah. I don't play about that.
I love it.
Definitely don't play about like singers.
Yeah.
And I tap into singers more than I do MCs for sure.
Okay.
You feel me?
Who your favorites?
Singers?
Favorite singers.
Sheesh. I'm gonna be just basic with these Johns. Matter of fact, you know who Cleo Soul is? You gotta check out Cleo Soul.
Okay.
Fuck with Cleo Soul. Of course, Lauryn Hill. She like one of my favorites.
Okay.
Even like the Lauryn Hill that got older and more raspy like that. You heard the MTV, John? Oh yeah, you never heard the MTV Unplugged album from her? That's a tough joint. That's a deep joint.
I've never sat through an entire album of Lauryn Hill's.
Huh?
I never have.
Sheesh, is it a certain, I need to know this now. I got questions for you.
I know, right? And I'm totally open because Nadira started doing that towards the end of, when we was in the car actually. She was like, let me interview you now. But I feel, all right, so I think it has a little bit to do with what I was exposed to when I was younger. So my mom was more of a like Keisha Cole, Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige. Like I got more of those. Like honestly, those are like the top 3 of all we would listen to when I was a kid. And then the only artist I had outside of that was like Michael Jackson. So it was really like I would just listen to Michael Jackson. Then after that, I got into like weird shit. Not weird shit, no disrespect, but like I was very much so Lady Gaga. Like got totally into her, Nicki Minaj. Like so I kind of went on like a pop-ish tangent.
Okay.
And then as I got older, I only would listen to like shit I found on SoundCloud. So I went through a whole like SoundCloud rappers and like SoundCloud singers thing. So I didn't even really know mainstream. Anyway, so that's a little bit about my journey. Now the thing about Lauryn Hill, I feel like it's like I don't think that's considered like neo soul.
Lauryn Hill?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Would you consider that neo soul, bro? Lauryn Hill?
Hip hop?
Definitely, because she definitely do hip hop heavy too.
Okay. So yeah, I'm also like, I'm not very like educated in that whole, I don't know, in that world. It was never really like a thing to me. And then when I got older, people like, you don't listen to like, it was when it was like, you don't listen to Lauryn Hill, and I'd be like, no, and I listen to it and I'm like, she's great. I see the, but it's just not my, it's just not my thing. Like I don't go to it for like comfort or something like that. Like I'm more of a, I don't know, like my top, I would give her top, like, not like that. She's in my top. She's in my top as far as like, because I know she's a legend and I've heard her, but she's not in my top, like, for my preference. I'm gonna get so, I already know when this airs, I'm gonna get so much hell for this. This is why I don't speak on this, because I already know what people be feeling, how I'll be looking, but it's just like, I'm even more of an Erica. So to think about like the people she be compared to, which is so dumb, but like, people do say like, okay, yeah, I'm more of an Erica person. Like I've heard more of her songs, I get more into her, but I just was never really like a, oh my God, Lauryn Hill, like.
Erykah Badu is a fucking legend as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just never, I don't know, like I missed that whole train. But I thoroughly enjoy when people enjoy her, absolutely. But yeah, she was never my twist for real.
Word.
And it's also crazy because people are like, but you sing and you rap. Like that was the biggest thing from my mentors. They was like, she's the one who did that the greatest. You need to study her. And I will. I will.
Please do.
I absolutely will.
Please do. Because you probably just pick up some little tips from her. And then I don't see you being anything like Lauryn Hill. But I feel like you could definitely get great tips from her. Because you definitely got a different energy versus what Lauryn Hill had.
Yeah.
Like Lauryn Hill was way more chill. Yeah. She was way more chill. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But you got the knowledge. It's just that your energy is like way more like more energetic than hers.
Yeah.
You feel me?
And it's super hood too. Like it's
hers is as well though.
Like yeah, I feel like
she had that chill hood like type of shit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see that. Like I like even again to bring it back to Nicki. Like Nicki was my, like that was my rapper. That still is my rapper, period. Sure. But like and then with Nicki's also a Sag, so like we're literally, similar. But I was more of a like talking shit. Like Lauryn Hill talks her shit, but I'm more of a like, I don't know how to explain it. Like I didn't start off talking shit to educate. I started off talking shit to out rap niggas.
What?
And take they bitches. That's what that was. Like, and now I'm on a different journey of like, sharing my like wisdom and shit like that. But yeah, that's how I started. Y'all don't come for me with the pitchforks and the burning fucking sticks and shit. I know y'all expected more, but that is my honest. I was watching an interview with Kaylani, to be honest, and she was just like, people always be like, I could tell Aaliyah was your biggest influence, and she'd be like, no, I actually like never listened to Aaliyah for real. And it's crazy how people think who you remind them of is the person you should study, is the person you probably did study, and it's like, maybe I'm just a reincarnation or like because sometimes I find the people that remind you of those people the most be the people that do not listen to them. So it's almost like they get some of that consciousness from that person maybe, or like that, I don't know, that spirit, like maybe they from the same star, connect to the same, you get what I'm saying? But it's like they almost miss each other, like they don't even know each other or don't even like whatever, but they be the ones that be the most similar. Right. And that's what and that's why I feel like Kaylani was kind of like, she didn't say that, but that's what I was getting from the conversation of like, yeah, niggas have told me about Aaliyah too. They be like, yo, you give Aaliyah, especially when how I was dressing, all that type of shit. But it's like, my middle name is Aaliyah. Like, my dad loves Aaliyah. I never really, like, listened to her for real, like, knew much of her story at all. But I got that all the time. So, yeah, anyway, I say all of that to say, I will absolutely pay respects to those who paved the way for me, all in divine timing. All in divine timing.
You said, kind of like not to get away from the music. But you said your little brother had some questions that you was going to ask. Yeah,
we already like established that. When you gave us the four, talking about the minerals and all of that. The one thing I will say, all right, so this was a question. This was kind of me and him too. Like, as people who, are on a budget and also like live in a food desert, just a real like, all the challenges that you could think of that come in the way of that type of thing. What do you feel like is the first piece of advice you would give them? I'm not even going to give no parameters around it. Just what's the first thing that comes to mind for somebody trying to like make that change?
Shit, learn how to fast. That has to be, you have to you have to distinguish the difference between hunger and starving. And then when you learn, and then gaining confidence of who you are. I lost 56 pounds. And I always been like a gym dude, so I was 56 pounds husky and still strong. I wasn't never like fat, oversized. I was heavy in the gym on the regular, 56 pounds and all of that. I definitely feel 10 times healthier, 56 pounds down. And I'm still damn near picking up the same heavy ass shit that I was picking up when I was 56 pounds up. So, I mean, I kind of wanted to dabble on that a little bit too, but that's to answer your question. Learn how to distinguish between them two, being hungry and starving. And what else I just say? And
learn how to
tripping.
fast or
Self-confidence, yes. Yeah.
And that's what I want to say something before you continue, because I was just explaining this to TJ. So like, in this society, like, all right, yeah, well, I'm just gonna walk him through the same conversation we was having. So like, I went through a period like a couple months ago. So I've been small all my life. Like, I've pretty much been this, but smaller my entire life. And then when I first was vegetarian, I was small as shit, like almost like looking a little sick. People was asking questions type shit, right? So anyway, always been small, right? So the past, like, I would say like 2 months ago, I had a period, a few months of being like what this society would consider being like slim thick. And I was like, oh, it was giving me a little confidence. It was like, this shit is cute. You know, I had a little weight in the right places. It was given. However, my health problems was way worse because I was explaining this to TJ. I was eating, and this is every day. Tuck probably like, yeah. But I know you're not judging.
Like, nah,
but
I ain't judging.
I'm gonna explain to you what the fuck I was eating. So for breakfast, it was straight French toast, grits with cheese and the sugar and pepper. A whole, like, when I'm saying grits, I'm talking like the bowl like this. And hella butter, because you gotta put hella butter, hella sugar, hella cheese. And then pork bacon. Like, stack, like, I'm talking like 6 pieces. Like,
I can give you a great grits alternative option, and you can still get the...
Because them grits, they was that. I feel like that alone is what had that shit jiggling, okay? That's what had that shit. But wait, let me explain.
We could talk about these things too, because I want to touch base on for the people, like muscles, and then what alkaline foods you could eat to gain weight, because everybody runs from eating healthy because of those things.
So let me tell you, let me end this story for you, and then I want to hear all the tea. So I had the little, and then after that I would sleep because that shit knocks you the fuck out. Right. I would sleep for like the rest of the day for real, and I would get up and I would have a cheesesteak, salt, pepper, ketchup, fried onions, sweet peppers.
Damn, your heart ain't feel no type of way?
Yes, my whole body felt the type. I already had health problems. This shit made that shit 10 times worse. Anyway, so boom. So I was getting a little slim thick, you know, it was sundress season, it was given, it was cute, but I was suffering even more internally. I had no energy. I was past, like, energy level on 0, my nigga. Chest pains all the time. Like, niggas probably took shits like once a week. Like, type shit, right? Like, I gotta give y'all the nitty gritty because this, like, I want y'all to understand what the fuck really be going on, and niggas don't be talking about that shit.
Taking this shit is cool. It's fun.
Taking
Enjoy
multiple
that.
shits. I was just telling my sister I could pull up the text messages for you. I told my sister, I said the only thing, like, all right, it's many things in life that
best thing in the world, man. Fuck is wrong with you?
The feeling of taking a shit when you supposed to take a shit and it's an easy shit. It's not one of the ones that be cutting your butthole because we know about those. It's not the running water one that had that shit stinging. I'm talking about the shit that come easy. You wipe that shit and ain't shit on the toilet paper type shit. And you can keep it pushing. Them shits feel good as fuck. Anyway, let me wrap this story up for you so you can get into your points. Anyway, so recently, you know, and I also was like, I was with somebody who knew how to cook. I was with a woman, she was cooking steak and rice. I was eating good, right? 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. So all of that shit just was taking a toll on my body type shit. You know, me and this person separated. Also, and since then, and I've been, before we separated, I wanted to change my diet. Like, I would tell her, like, and she didn't necessarily, like, people don't, when they not in your body, they don't necessarily fully understand, like, the depths of what you be trying to tell them when you feeling health issues. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a thing for most people. But anyway, you know, I was trying to change my diet. Me and this person separated, and I got more serious about it because now it's like I can, you know, do what I want to do. You can always do what you want to do, but we're not gonna get into that. Y'all get what the fuck I'm saying. I started, you know, eating less unless I had the options that I wanted to have. And if I had to go out my way to get them, I was going out my way to get them, period, because it was that important to me. But when I wasn't eating something, and this is what I'm saying, as I was on that journey and I wasn't eating, right? I wasn't calling it fast. I was like, I'm hungry, whatever. something just dawned on me, like, you're fasting. Like, that shit literally just like popped in my brain. And I'm like, when I started looking at it like that, the next thing that popped in was like, don't like guzzle water, because I feel like that shit started giving me gas or like cramps or shit. But like, drink water throughout the day. Like, take your sips throughout the day, right? And on top of that, when you feel yourself getting like, I can't do this or whatever, breathe. I was breathing. And I used to hear people say that shit and be like, nigga, what the fuck? Nigga, I'm hungry. Run me my steak. Like, talking about breath. Fuck is breath gonna do for my fucking stomach? It does a lot. Like, I would be on a train and I would literally, and this is, you know, along with I was already regularly meditating, regularly doing affirmation. This was even before I started changing my diet for I was on meditation and affirmation type shit. So I was literally like, I would be sitting on the trolley like, breathing in through my nose, exhaling through my mouth. I would sip some water. Maybe grab, you know, by the time I get to my grandma's house, she got blueberries. I'm grabbing blueberries, like, you know, type shit. And I'm losing weight. So like, and I started feeling like, like last week I was just looking in the mirror. I'm just like, I was slim thick and like, you know, I'm smaller now. And you know what's, y'all know what's in society. You mean, like, that's what the fuck, you know, it's told that's sexy or told it's beautiful, whatever like that. So I could feel myself, you know, then I'll be back around people I used to be around and I'm like, damn, they gonna say I'm small. You know, you go through all of these things and like, Monty, what happened? It was women, you know, shit like that, right? These are, and I'm being honest with y'all because I want y'all to hear my journey because I know it's niggas that relate to this shit. But anyway, so I was feeling all of the things of like losing weight, and then I was having a conversation with TJ, and I still can't remember what you said, child. That made me like, you know, say whatever. But the point of it all is like, I know why I'm losing weight. Number one, I know it's not always gonna be like this because you know, there are foods I'm still learning which ones, like, so you don't, you know, necessarily like lose the minerals you're supposed to have or the bacteria you're supposed to have, or like, you know, different shit like that. And also to keep weight on you, because I don't want to be like, I do still want to have a nice weight on me, period. I just don't want it to be fat weight from just like eating bullshit. Saying all of that to say, like, when I started thinking about the benefits I was getting, like, yes, I'm losing weight, but number one, still niggas still look good, first of all. And also, like, even beyond the physical, is doing something for me. It's doing something for my spirit, it's doing something for my mind, it's also doing something for my body. So when I look in the mirror now, I don't see like, you look less like this person on TV or this person in the music videos. I see you're healing your body. And if losing weight right now is like one of the things that's happening because of that, I'm okay with that as you're learning. Right. What we're not gonna do is eat shit we don't got no business eating so you could claim slim thick. That's what we're not doing, because that shit also makes you sleep for most of your days. It makes you sick as fuck. Niggas don't be pooping. And it also gives you extra emotional baggage. So
having the itis is a disease. That is a disease.
Okay?
The itis is
chronic
a
fatigue.
Disease, man, indeed.
Like, my fatigue,
you just shut your whole body
chronic.
down. You ate bullshit and it shut your whole entire body down.
Whole entire body.
To go get some rest when you necessarily wouldn't be resting at that specific point in time.
Because your body literally can't do anything else but fight what you like. It's fighting so hard from what you just put in it that it literally cannot do anything else. Like, that feeling is so, like, I was sleeping without control. Like, I literally could not control. Like, I would be in a bed, you know, with the person that we was living together. I would be in a bed and they would be talking to me, and next thing you know, like, I'm completely unconscious. Like, in any position, like, any position, like, that shit was so bad to the point where it would be sometimes they would be talking to me and I would be talking back in like delusion state. Like, literally at this point, I'm not even like, I'm just like, well, my mom says she's at the airport. Nigga, what?
Right.
Your mom don't fly. Your mom don't get on planes. So what are we really talking? That shit was bad. Like, listen, no discussions. No, your sex life suffers from that shit. Like, all, because if you passing out like that, niggas ain't got time to be fucking. Like, niggas barely walk to the bathroom. Like, that shit is bad.
Yo,
I digress.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I hope you got what you needed. Again, what I express in these episodes is solely my experience and opinion and is not to be taken as professional or legal advice. If you need either of those, I encourage you to see a professional. Until next time, fly free, beautiful.